Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In this week's episode, we spent Halloween exploring the Sugamo neighborhood, eating some delicious food at a Teishoku restaurant, visiting some temples, and rubbing this big white thing. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like, it really helps the channel grow. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button and the little notification bell so you don't miss any future episodes. Let's go. Before we get this video going, we wanted to wish you a happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween!
Today is the 31st of October. We're celebrating, we're spending Halloween in Tokyo. So today we don't have a lot of time in between working, so we decided to come to a neighborhood that's relatively close to home. This is a 15-minute ride on the Yamanote line, and this is the neighborhood of Sugamo.
And if you have geriatric needs, like I do, this is the place for you.
Yeah, what do you mean by that?
Well, this is kind of what's known as the Harajuku for grannies. So a lot of grannies hang out here. Why do they hang out here? Well, the pavement is super flat. There's no barriers to the store, so they have easy access. All the shopkeepers are known to be very patient and speak very slowly and loudly. And I think there are a few more items, but basically, if you're a granny, this is the place to be.
Yeah, and the main draw to Sugamo is Joshi-dori, and this is the big shopping street here in the neighborhood, and it's lined with all kinds of shops and restaurants, and it has a very different vibe than all the other neighborhoods we've been visiting so far on the trip. It's got a very laid back kind of feel, and that is what draws in the grannies, because this is a place where it's said the time has sort of stood still.
For 40 years.
Yeah, it's been kind of the same for 40 years, and you kind of feel that as soon as you get here.
They are very proud that there's not many, if any, Western establishments. Western chains have opened up. Everything is still Japanese mom and pop.
And it has a very long history here actually. This street dates back to the Edo period. So there was a route out of Edo to Kyoto, and this is the first leg of that route right on this street. And this area was the first rest stop along that route. So as you would leave Edo, I'm not sure how long it would take you to get here, but this would be the first spot where you'd be able to put your feet up, take refuge, get some food, maybe have an overnight sleep before you continue on your journey. So that's pretty crazy.
It is.
So we're gonna explore the neighborhood and the street a little bit and show you some of the highlights. As you make your way from the station to the main shopping street, you'll come across a temple. And this is Shingon Temple Shinshōji. And it's notable for this amazing bronze statue of a seated Jizo out front of the temple. It's about 4.5 meters tall. It used to be gold plated, and it's a spectacular sight. Apparently this was commissioned back in the Edo period. In all, there were 6 bronze statues created used to mark the start of the major highways out of Edo, with this one marking the Nakasendo highway leading to Kyoto. There are now only 5 remaining. One was lost when its temple was abandoned and then destroyed. So you can come in here for a quick visit before you hit the main shopping street. Starting our way up the shopping street, and it's time to find lunch. We found a restaurant. This is a sort of quick eatery, deep fried food, full of locals, really busy. But we ventured in here, we got a table, and we perused the menu. They gave us an English menu, but it looks like a very pared down version of all the things they have to offer. So I went on to Google and looked at the pictures for this place and found something more up my alley, which was a mixed set. And that's what I've ordered, and even was able to customize it. So I think what they have here are all kinds of different foods that you can order sort of one-offs and make your own sets. There's a whole bunch of boards on the wall here that probably is all the different items that you can get. So I was able to get a shrimp, a fish, the menchikatsu, which is a minced meat and then deep fried kind of like patty, and a deep fried oyster. And the guy who took our order was very helpful in helping me sort of figure out how to customize this. So I'm gonna take a bite of my menchikatsu. This is the same thing that I grabbed when I was in Ueno Station when we went to that shopping street. I'll link that video up above if you want to check that out. That was a really good menchikatsu. I've already put katsu sauce on this. It has it's very well spiced. It kind of reminds me of a Thanksgiving stuffing that I would put in a turkey. It has like that kind of a flavor somehow. I think it's the crust, the deep fried crust that gives it that bready flavor. And then the meat is seasoned and full of onion and ground meat. And that's all sort of contributing to this flavor that is reminding me of that stuffing flavor. The outside's really thick and crispy. That's what a good find. Good job, Nicole. Nicole ordered a set, but she got a side of fried chicken. And I'm gonna give that a try right now. It comes with some cabbage and some mayo. And I'm gonna get a generous dollop of the mayo on my fried chicken. The breading on this is very different than the breading on my menchikatsu. It's not quite as fluffy. It's a little bit more crunchy, and it holds in the juices from the chicken really, really well. I'm happy that they kept the skin on the chicken, and it's dark meat. Wow, and the mayo really, really goes well with that. It adds a bit of tartness to the chicken and helps the chicken flavor come through. When we were sitting at the front door waiting for our table, there were three, I'm gonna say it, grannies sitting there, and one of them spoke English pretty well and started talking with us, and she mentioned, and her colleagues all agreed, that this place has amazing shrimp. And Nicole got super excited at that point when they started talking about the shrimp. And my plate, my combo I put together has a shrimp. I gave it a bite. It is fantastic. They're very big, very well breaded, but that shrimp flavor comes through really well. Somehow the first bite kind of reminded me of tartar sauce. I don't know why. There's no tartar sauce here. They don't give you any tartar sauce. There's none on this, but that really nice shrimpy flavor maybe is what triggered it a little bit. Nicole, what do you think of the shrimp?
Those grannies have high standards, and they knew what they were talking about. This shrimp is everything they promised. It's big, it's delicious, and they said it was cheap. So I got the combo. It came with 2 shrimps, a little salad, soup, and a rice, and it came to 1,050 yen, which is an incredibly good deal considering how good quality this shrimp is. The shell is so crunchy, the shrimp is so meaty, and with the little splash of lemon they gave me, this is definitely a winner.
The one thing I'm kind of concerned about on this plate is the oyster. I'm usually not an oyster fan, but figured this has got to be worth a try in this restaurant because the quality of everything looks so good, and a lot of the pictures seem to be all about the oyster. So I've taken this big oyster and I put a bit of tonkatsu sauce on one side, and let's give it a go. It definitely has an interesting consistency, which is partly why I'm a little bit iffy on oysters, but I don't get a ton of flavor out of it. I got a little shot of something at first, but I'm not too sure. So I'm splitting this oyster with Nicole, so let's give it to her and see what she thinks of it.
I'm like Michael, I'm a big fan of oysters, particularly raw oysters, and then followed up by deep fried oysters. So I'm excited to give this puppy a bite. I don't know why you couldn't taste the oyster, because to me it's very, very strong. It's a very fresh oyster, and the smell, as soon as it even comes near my nose, the smell or the fragrance from the oyster is really, really strong. I'm thinking about my verdict, and I think that I like while this oyster is very good, I think the star of the show for me is the shrimp and the chicken. The chicken was outstanding. It wasn't breaded in panko like the rest of our meal. It was breaded maybe in like, I think a light flour, and it was very light and the skin was super crispy. The only thing I would change about the oyster is I think that the breading is too thick for the oyster, and it kind of overtakes the poor little guy a little bit. So either we need a bit more oyster or a bit less breading.
The piece I left for last is the fish. And I always like fish in this form. It's pretty thin, flattened out piece of fish, white fish usually, deep fried. I've put some katsu sauce on it. The fish itself is very delicate. I get a bit of that fishy flavor, but I think similar to the oyster, like Nicole was saying, maybe the breading overpowers it a little bit, but it's nice and moist and flaky. And kind of a classic combination. So that is good. But for me, the star of the show is definitely the shrimp and the menchikatsu. Those were really outstanding. All right, so we're gonna finish up our meals here and then head back out there in the street and see what else we can find that excites those grannies. As you saw from our video from Kōganji the other day, which I'll link right up here, Japan is crazy for mascots. And that day we got to meet 12 amazing mascots. It was so much fun.
I love them.
Yeah, go check out that video to see what we got up to. But of course, this area also has its own mascot. And we're in Sugamo, and the mascot's name is Sugamon. And it is a duck. And as you're walking around the shopping street and in the train station, you'll see pictures of a duck mascot, and that's him, Sugamon. One of the things you should do when you come visit the shopping street is find his butt.
Wah, wah, wah.
Yes, you can come and touch Sugamon's butt. And there's two ways that you can come and molest him. The first is you can rub him, and that is going to help you with marriage. You're going to have a good marriage. Or you can just touch him lightly, and that means that you will need little assistance as you get older. So we have found his butt. There he is, and we're going to touch him.
Do you know what happens if you give him a really good grope?
What?
I don't know.
I don't know. Let's not do it. We don't want Sugamon to get mad at us.
Oh, no.
So we'll just we'll be nice to him. Did you give it a rub?
I did. I'm starting to feel like no day is complete without a little duck butt rubbing.
I just gave it a nice pat. I want to have little assistance needed as I get older.
You need so much assistance now, though.
Oh no, hopefully it goes down then. You'll have to stick with us for a few decades to see if this actually pays off. As you stroll down the street and come towards the first sort of gate of the street itself, to your right will be a temple. This is Kōganji Temple. It is quite the amazing thing to see in between all the shops that are lining the street. It has a nice gate that opens up into a little sort of courtyard with a huge incense cauldron, and then the main hall of the temple is sort of imposing over you from that vantage point.
The front of the temple is a little sitting area, and it's more reminiscent of a local park. All the grannies are hanging out here. Some moms with their newborns are like chilling here. It just has a park feel right here.
Yeah, it's a really kind of quiet corner on the busy shopping street. So let's go get some incense. Let's go ale our ailments and then check out the main hall. One of the common things to do, obviously, at a temple is to buy some incense and light it and go stick it in the incense burner. What's cool about this temple is they have this amazing incense lighter. Look at this thing. Let's light our incense. Alright, so we got our incense lit. Now we're gonna walk it over to the cauldron they have in front of the temple and place it in the ash and let it burn with all the other incense that have been placed there. A common thing to do is wash yourself with the smoke coming off the incense to purify yourself. So what was I talking about when I said let's go cure our ailments? Well, there's a ritual here called Arai Kannon, and this is where you come to a statue of a cannon and you pour water over it, and then you wipe off the area of the statue which is ailing you with a towel. So you dry it off, and you can pick up a towel at the main entrance to the temple grounds. There's a little booth there where you can get a towel and your incense, and then you line up to do the ritual.
So the towel cost us 100 yen?
It did.
Very reasonable.
Yes, if it cures my ailment.
Oh, okay, no, then that would be like amazing.
Yeah. So my lower back has been bothering me for a couple of years now and kind of flared up this week. So I'm hoping that drying off the statue's lower back is going to help me out by tomorrow. That'd be really
by
good.
By tomorrow,
yeah.
Oh my, that 100 yen, you're really hoping it'd go far.
Yeah.
Actually, it's 50 yen because you shared your towel with me.
Oh, I hope that doesn't diminish my results.
Because my ailments are my stiff shoulders. So I'm hoping that by drying the back of her shoulders and the back of her neck, it will heal my ailments.
Well, we'll see tomorrow. Right beside the statue where you rinse it off and then rub the part that's ailing you, you can buy some dango. And this is happiness dango. It's just a little tiny shop right beside the statue, and the old granny working there selling it, and she grabbed a piece off the pile for me, put it on her little grill and grilled it up fresh. It's very chewy, as it should be. And this has been flavored with soy sauce. And dango is made from rice cakes. These are little balls of pounded rice cake. And it's very chewy, as you can see, and dense. And it's just really a vessel for the flavoring that they put on it. Well, this is really, really tasty.
I think this dango is very aptly named because the little granny that runs the shop, she's so happy, so friendly, and happiness dango equals happy granny. Quick, we need to do a mail out. Stat! How can you not want to mail something in this thing?
I think this is my favorite Sugamon marketing ploy. The post office has used them to great effect to make you want to mail something, as Nicole highlighted. But this is pretty quality Sugamon head.
Why are we standing in front of a wall of red underwear, you ask?
Well, that's because Sugamo has become known for red underwear, and they've been coined the granny panties. And that's because when you turn 60, it's common to give somebody something red because it symbolizes health restoration and energy. And so they've kind of combined all that together. This being known for grannies, this is the granny Harajuku. They need something fashionable, so it might as well be red granny panties. As you're strolling down the street, keep your eyes out for all the traditional sweet shops that are lining the street. You can get all kinds of stuff like dango and mochi, daifukus, baked goods, taiyakis, all kinds of great looking stuff, as well as ice cream. And that's where we are right now. We decided to try some ice cream, and there's a honey shop here that looked really enticing, and they do a honey type of ice cream. So what does it look like?
So it's a honey-based vanilla ice cream, and then we got a topping which is yuzu honey, and she was very, very proud that there was absolutely no sugar involved in the topping. I don't know if there's sugar in the ice cream, but in the topping she was very specific. I'm gonna give it a whirl.
Go for it.
Wow, that is strong honey.
Is it really? Yeah,
I don't even taste the yuzu. All I taste is the honey. It's an entire shop dedicated to honey. They sell nothing else but honey. So I guess
from all over the world, there's Canadian honey here.
Yeah. Did you see the Japanese honey? It was like 40 or 50 bucks a throw.
Yeah. No, this is really good. Yeah, the honey is very strong.
There's definitely, let's good, and it's a good solid ice cream. Like there's a lot of cream in it. It's not just full of ice. It's not just air. This is a must, I would say.
Yeah, and I like the hint of the yuzu, the citrus fruit. Gives it a little bit of sourness that counterbalances the sweetness from that honey really well. We've made it to the end of Jizodori and are turning around and heading back to the train station.
It's pretty quiet at this end of the street compared to the beginning of the street.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the farther you go from the train station, the less and less people there are going to be. It definitely seemed like a lot of the action was centered around the train station, as it usually is in a neighborhood like this. But this was a great way to spend a quiet afternoon.
I think if you're really into wanting to see what Tokyo had to offer in the past, before all the mega tourism boom from the West came, this is an excellent place to hang out and explore.
Yeah, definitely. And there's a variety of things you can do here on this one street. You can visit some temples, you can do some shopping, you can get some groceries, you can go eat out and have a nice meal. It's a really good place. It has lots of things to fill a whole afternoon.
Yeah, it's just a different side of Tokyo if you want to go off the beaten path a bit.
Yeah, and I really love the fact that we were walking on a street that was on top of an old route from the Edo period. Like, that just blows my mind. That's amazing. So, like I said, we're heading back to the train station. I think our fun day is over and work day begins or continues. We will catch you later. Thanks so much for watching the video. We hope you enjoyed exploring the Sugamo neighborhood with us. If you did, please don't forget to like the video. It really helps the channel grow. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the little notification bell so you don't miss any future episodes. We'll see you next week.